Welcome back, and the name of our program this afternoon is Your Money Safe? I'll answer that question for you. No. I am your host, Dr. Robert House, and I'm having an enjoyable but serious conversation with my protege, buddy, friend, compadre, John Trice out of Athens, Georgia. And our topic this afternoon is mortgages. In particular, we're going to be talking about foreclosures, how to set yourself up so that you don't enter into that realm. And watch this, I'll even go so far as to say this. Did you not know, or what you will learn at our seminars, and I'm not going to give it away on the video, but did you not know that there should not have been one foreclosure in the United States of America?
I know, that's hard to believe.
That is hard to believe.
It sounds like something out of Alice in Wonderland.
It sounds like something that a statement that was wrapped in a riddle,
right,
thrown into the matrix. You follow me? It just doesn't sound true. And there will be a lot of people out here that won't believe anything that you and I are saying. Mm-hmm. And I tell them straight away, don't believe one word that I looked up. Scratch that. Okay. Don't believe one word that John and I are telling you. But we will give you enough persuasive evidence for you to go out and do the research on your own. But with caution, be careful. Because we're finding people that are learning this, that are making inquiries, and this is not just scary, this is not scare tactics or anything, this is actual proof that we're having companies, people that are being foreclosed on by companies that have never missed a payment.
All right.
Okay, especially in states like Georgia, California, which are called non-judicial states, and we're going to put that down. We're going to be talking about that before we leave this afternoon. You need to know what your rights are. So these videos are, like we said, are designed to come before our actual seminars. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of things that we will not talk about on the video that we will talk about at the seminar. And one of those John, is the what happened at the close? What happened at the close? See, the problem, the inherent problem, in John and I's opinion, is that most of your professionals, when you come to them and want to engage in some demonstrative position, such as foreclosure, or loan modification, or short sale, we think that we're heading towards a solution. Let me assure you that you're not. And the reason is because no one knows. You, the homeowner, the real estate agent, the broker, the closing attorney, the mortgage broker, none of those, the CPA, none of those guys actually knows what happened at the close. So what I'm going to do for the next couple of minutes, and you jump in here if you have a question that you want to ask, is what happened at the close. And John hit on it earlier. John said that years ago, when his dad and my dad bought their first house, they went and borrowed money from the bank on the local downtown or the local corner in the neighborhood. And we signed terms on that mortgage, 10, 12, 15 years. I remember the 20-year mortgage coming in around about the 70s, I believe. And then we had the 30-year mortgage that was around the latter part of the 80s. And now you have 40 and 60-year mortgages. And in places like China, there's a 99-year mortgage. That mortgage you actually have to put in your estate plan so that somebody else can inherit it when you die. You know what I mean? So things have changed from what we think, and I think that is the inherent problem with the average American, is that their thought pattern is still, they're thinking about their dad, they're thinking about their granddad, the way he borrowed money or entered into this borrowing realm with the bank 30 years ago. And nothing could be further from the truth. Now, initially, let's go and talk about what happened at the close. Well, initially, you went out and, scratch that. So let's go out and talk about the process if we can. We have a little dialogue on the house buying process of today.
Okay.
All right. So you would go and look for a house. You would go and get your down payment together and that type of deal, and see if you qualified, or see if you could afford the house before, and then you could see if you qualified for that monthly payment and that type of deal. And you qualified.
And that was a starter home.
And that was a starter home.
It was always a starter home that you could afford.
Exactly.
And that because you had an obligation to your local
Well,
neighbor.
do you think that's a problem too? Because nobody wanted to start a home.
Nobody would live in a starter home.
Nobody did that. They wouldn't want to start a home. Everybody wants to jump into that excuse me, that $500,000
Right.
or $1 million house, and that could have been here again, Wall Street playing on that greed. Because that's what happens to people. They get what? They get greedy. Okay? So Wall Street said, hey, let's open up the door. We're gonna make money off of what? Their greed. So that's what they did. Now, we have to understand, before we can get our handle on what's going on internally, we need to find out what happened at that closing table. Most people do not understand what happened. I'm a financial advisor, former stockbroker, all that stuff. And I'm really upset, John, because I feel like I got took.
Well, that's right.
Like I got had. You know, here you're talking about Bob House, PhD.
Right.
And we've been learning this stuff about the last 3 years. Okay? I mean, intensely. This is not reading some pamphlet. You got me? We know this stuff. Okay? You could almost classify us as expert witnesses in court with this. Okay? And what I'm upset about is that as I learned about what happened at the close, all I was trying to do, John, was to get a house for my family and, you know, comfortable. You know, we were making, you know, a little money back then. And that was basically it. I wasn't trying to make a statement or anything, or that I was somehow hadn't made it, or, you know, that nonsense. But, you know, let's have it. And when I found out, this is 12 years later now. 9 years later, I found out that when I walked out of the closing with some paper, I won't even say closing documents because they were not, in a brown envelope. That's what the attorney gave me at the closing. And when I walked out of that closing, talking about 1999, and what did I do with that brown envelope? I came home, I opened up a drawer, and I put that envelope in there. And let's see, 9 years from that would have been like 208. That was the next time I opened that envelope. It was 8 years later. Okay? So we're not sitting here telling you that we're the experts, we know all this stuff. Or we're telling you we are experts on the topic, but back then we didn't know this.
No, we were operating under the same rules our parents operated.
Exactly.
Because that's the way we were taught.
Exactly.
And we thought we could go down to the bank at any time, see Mr. Joseph, ask could we see our loan documents, and he'd tell one of his clerks to go back to the storage room, and they'd pull it out of the filing cabinet.
Exactly.
And they could show you where you were.
That is not to be.
I would pay somebody $100 if they could find mine now.
They could. That is not to be.
If I walked in, mine's now Bank of America because it's been sold so many times.
Right.
I bet they couldn't even find me except in the computer.
Well, we're going to show you. Well, we're going to show you that they can't.
No.
But let me get back to what happened at the close. We went in and we signed those documents, And we thought, and we're not going to get heavy into this because we don't want to scare anybody off, but everything that we say we can back up.
Absolutely.
Okay? What you will find when we dive into what happened at the close was that the American borrower, because of the way that this scheme was put together, did not borrow a dime. Now, that in itself, that statement right there in itself would take us 3 hours to explain. Okay? But what we will find out is that another or the inherent problem in the United States is that very few people, homeowners, whomever, understand how money is created in the United States.
Complete lack of knowledge.
Complete lack of knowledge. So this goes beyond the scheme, but it bounces back to the scheme using the fact that most people in the United States do not understand how money is created. What you will find when you attend our seminar is, and we'll do a complete breakdown of what I just said, is that ultimately what you'll find out is that during, or what happened at the close, the homeowner did not borrow 1 cent.
That's worth coming to the seminar.
That's
right
worth
there.
coming to the seminar. You notice I stopped.
Right.
You can't go too far beyond that, because we had some people watching this video that are 50, 60, 70 years old, that when they hear that, they're going, these two guys are nuts. Well, and I'll send you over to the U.S. code that says that up under banking, and it clearly states that the bank cannot loan the depositors money, that the bank cannot loan their deposits, and the bank cannot loan their credit. So if there's all those congressional restrictions on what the bank can do as it relates to loaning money, in particular the mortgage, well, the most significant question to ask is, well, where did the money come from?